You may not think it today in this day and age, but there's still good people out there. Just got to look for them. Excuse me. Okay, ask the right questions. Tell them you're going to be working long hours. Ask them about the weekends. Tell them, if we have to work Saturdays and Sundays, we have to do it. If we get rained out during the week and we lose 2 days of work, well, guess what? We're making them 2 days up Saturday and Sunday. And you see what their response is. Ask them if they have any obligations. Do they belong to some association or bowling night or whatever that could interfere with any of that? Make sure you get it out on the table. Last thing you want to do is hire this guy, and he comes to you then afterwards and he says, hey man, I got to be off by 4 o'clock on Thursdays because it's bowling night or I play softball or whatever. No, it doesn't work. You work our schedule. I'm your boss, you work the schedule. Okay? Iron those things out immediately while you're interviewing these guys so that they cannot come back to you later and say, yeah, this obligation is here, I have to do it. Okay? Asking all the right questions. The holidays, talk to them about that if you have to work holidays. If you're behind, you're behind. At the bottom line, in the end of the day, you have to make sure that all those lawn care clients have been mowed and taken care of during that given week. You can't let them go into the next week. So if you're behind because of breakdowns or weather issues or what have you, you may have to work holidays. You may have to work those weekends. You got to find them out, feel them out, see how they feel about that. Explain to them that's not your goal, that's not what you're trying to do, but if you have to do it, you have to do it. And see what they say. If they just kind of cringe a little bit, roll their eyes, then it's like, there's your red flag. So pay attention to that. It means a lot. Because when you hire them and you bring them on, then they start pissing and moaning about working them long hours or working weekends. What are you going to do then? You just went through all your effort to hire this guy. Now you're going to what? Put another ad in the paper and go back or in Craigslist or something and go through the whole thing again to try and replace this guy? Plus you've invested all your time in trying to train him. I mean, it's way more beneficial to take the time to hire. That's why they say slow to hire, quick to fire. Be slow. Take your time when you hire them. Explain everything you expect from them. Explain every scenario that could possibly come up, that these long hours that could come up, all this stuff. So it's all out on the table. And if the guy doesn't have a problem with that and you like him, you like everything else he's done, bring him on board. Okay? What else? Make sure that they have a current driver's license. We got burned on this also, where people told us they had driver's licenses. We took their word for it, hired them on. They didn't have a driver's license. You don't want to get caught with that. Your insurance company will hang you if that happens. Actually, physically, get the driver's license from them, look at it, and make sure it's a real driver's license and make sure it's not expired. Take that 2 minutes to do it. Believe me, it'll come back to haunt you if you don't. Discuss the salary with them. Make sure there's no qualms about the salary. Make sure he's okay with that. Ask him about his dreams and his ambitions and what he wants to do, where he wants to go in life, and just get a feel for him. If he tells you that, well, eventually I want to open my own kitchen somewhere and be a chef or something like that, okay, that's fine. You got a young guy here, he's got dreams and ambitions down the line. Hey, he'll probably work out for one of your common laborer guys, okay? He'll probably work out just fine. He's trying to make money to go to college, whatever the case may be. But if he tells you, if it's an older guy and he said he's trying to get to that, you know that you don't want to spend, and even if it is a younger guy, you don't want to spend a lot of time training him to run the show, to be a manager. You don't want to spend that kind of time with him, okay? Because you're wasting it, you're throwing it away. So remember that, okay? Let's see, discuss salary, point out the possible problems, and like I said, watch the response that you get from them. Read the facial expressions that are going on. Make sure they have good transportation. Make sure that if they show up in this rusty old clunker vehicle and a guy lives 30 miles away, everything else works out, but yet you can see what he's driving and you just know what happens if he has a breakdown. Talk to him about it. Ask him. Say, what happens if your car breaks down? How are you going to get here? Can his wife bring him, or does his wife work? Are you going to run into jams down the line? Because if you are, it holds up the rest of the guys waiting to go in the truck. It puts you short. You're getting behind further and further the more time that guy's away from the job. So you want to stop that. You want to nip it in the bud, look at it, make sure the guy's got good transportation or he doesn't live far away where you guys, if you had to, could swing by and catch him with a truck, whatever. Again, ask him why he left all his other jobs. Talk to him about that. Is he mechanically inclined? Now that's something you wouldn't think you have to be, and really I guess you don't be, but boy, if you're mechanically inclined and you work for a lawn care company, you're an asset to me, because if you can fix that trimmer when it breaks down, if you can fix that mower when it breaks down, instead of me having to stop what I'm doing, you got two guys in the truck and they're sitting around waiting because you have to take it to a mechanic and have the problem fixed. And it was something simple to begin with. I mean, obviously not all of us are mechanics and all that kind of stuff, but hopefully these guys are somewhat mechanically inclined to fix it on the spot. They'll save you hundreds of dollars down the line. And not just the time that they're off, but the bill you're going to get from the mechanic shop for something simple. It never ceases to amaze me, some of the dumb things we take our mowers in for. Just simple things. We even had one run out of gas and they took it to the shop. I mean, who does that? What is that? But regardless, that's just me. I just want to focus on you for now. But these are things to watch out for. Let's see, what else? Computer savvy. This day and age, a lot of things with the companies are getting, if you're at that point where you're getting into using the computer software and do emailings back and forth and routing and things like that, we're going to have to be sending emails and stuff. Make sure that they know how to do those things. Bringing them on board, I mean, even if they don't, if you can overlook it, great, but especially if they're going to be your managers, they need to have some idea how to run this stuff. Okay, we ran into a case where we had a guy that we hired that we didn't even ask that question, and then when it was time to put him into a management position, he struggled. And having that has definitely hurt our business, and it's taken a lot more time to do the training, and it's one of them things that you could avoid if you ask the right questions ahead of time. There again, tell them, another thing you can tell them is that you do random drug tests, random piss tests, and watch their face, see what they say about that, how they feel about that. Obviously, nobody's going to say, oh, that's a problem. They're not going to say that to you, but just kind of watch them. Watch your face when you tell them that, and see if they look away or if they, eyes wander or anything, or look down, or pay attention to those things. They're all little signs that should go off in your head, okay? Let's see. Interview them several times. I found this out. I've had good interviews with people the first time around, and when I narrowed it down to, say, 3 or 4 people, I brought them in for the second interview, asked a few different questions. All of a sudden, I didn't like this guy so much. I didn't like the answer that I got, or he came in with an attitude or something, and I've had this happen more than once. So I'm glad I did it the way I did it. I'm glad I interviewed everybody at once, narrow it down, bring them in, have a second interview with them. Again, that's slow to hire, quick to fire. And when we talk about quick to fire, that means when these guys screw up, if it's something that was an honest mistake, okay, work with them, take care of it. If it's just stupidity on their part, you have to decide, can you groom this guy? Can you make him into what you want him to be? Or is this guy probably going to be like this forever? If he is, you're better off to get rid of him and get somebody else in there that can think, because I've wasted a lot of time over the years trying to make managers out of people that it never materialized, and I wasted a ton of time and effort on it, and I should have been quick to fire. When I went as far, that's how dumb I am. I went as far as when I caught people stealing, that I continued to let them work for me, okay? And after going through all this and looking at it now, what a fool I was for doing that, because they came right back and they continued to steal, okay? So I guess what I'm telling you is, if you catch them stealing once, out the door. Out the door they go. Get rid of them. If they do things that are unscrupulous or they mouth off to a customer, don't even waste your time. Those type of things, they're out the door. They treat the customers with respect or they're gone. Okay? Plain and simple. No questions asked. Let's see. The other thing I was going to tell you, when you do, just to wrap this up, when you do bring them in and you hire your guy, if you had somebody that was in a close second spot, talk to that guy and explain to him, just say, you know what, sir, I really liked you. I appreciate you coming in here. I got to tell you, the other guy's got a little more experience. Not much, but he's got a little bit more experience, and we're going to go with him. But I want to tell you something. In my experience, a lot of times this doesn't work out. And believe me, I will be on the phone with you if there's a doubt in my mind. If this guy pisses me off once, he's out the door, and I'm going to be calling you. So please don't take this the wrong way. I just have to take this guy right now as he has a little more experience. But I really enjoyed meeting you, and I really, really would like to have you work for us. If the room opens up, I'll call you, okay? Do things like that. That way you're keeping a pony in the stable. You know what I mean? You keep him with you. Don't just blow him off. Just tell him you didn't get the job or you don't call him back at all. I hate that. I hated that when I was out looking for work. You'd go talk to, put out 20 applications and you wouldn't hear back from anybody. Or you went to an interview, oh, we'll let you know one way or the other. Well, they never call you. I hated that. You sit by the phone waiting. At least call them up and just tell them, I'm sorry, we didn't give the job to you. We gave it to somebody else, but thanks for coming in. At least they know there's an end to it, and they don't have to sit around hoping. So anyway, I hope these things have helped you. Just some ideas that I've had, and feel free to go on our videos, or on our website rather. Look at our other videos. I say this all the time, get it backwards like that. But if you go on our website, and we have a lot of videos up there with a lot of helpful information that'll help you out, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.